Dale Not Dale Podcast.
Uncle Dale and Vaughn with stories to unfold. So sit back, relax, and behold. We discussing life and all its ups and downs. Tune in from your side of town. Talking pop cultures, movies, and TV shows. Giving the thoughts and much more. This shit is style, clothes, and gadgets galore. Keeping you entertained, you'll be begging for more. Cause we gon' laugh and hey, maybe even crying. But one thing's for sure, you'll be smiling. Cause Uncle Dale and Vaughn are at your side. So come along, join, and let's ride.
They bring the heat, and the guests are supreme. They ain't just a duo.
All right, guys. We're rolling. Magnus, you got us? All right.
Put your shirt on.
Dude. We got a guest. Yeah. So, hey, we got Mr. Dane Granier from Bourbon Watch Company.
How's it going?
What's up, man?
Not much.
Dude, you drove in just for us, man.
That's it.
We
5
feel-
hours.
We feel special.
I do. I feel
I was
special.
excited.
I hate driving.
I like driving though. Driving, especially that drive from Thibodeau to Houston. Not bad.
I would drive to Baton Rouge to play golf and drive back some days. I've done that before.
Really?
I've done that before.
Cool.
4 hours there, play golf, 4.5,
Head
5
right
hours.
back.
Yeah.
I love golf. I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah, I've done it before. It's fun, man.
Some people don't get it. Like I'll drive into New Orleans one day and somebody's like, "Man, you drove all the way in." It's like, it's an hour.
Yeah.
It's not a bad drive.
Yeah.
No, you're so East Louisiana, bro. Dude,
You can hear it, can't you?
man, it's thick, bro. Like I said, we just had, Cajun Ninja on, like we were talking about
Yeah.
before we started filming, that y'all are, you actually live in the same area with Thibodeau.
Yeah, both live in Thibodeau. And I've never met him personally.
No?
We frequent the same restaurant. I'll see him every now and then, but like I don't want to be that guy that goes up and like bothers him. It's like, hey,
Man,
what's up,
no,
man?
He's a good dude, man. You need to introduce yourself. Once he'll see this, and then you guys, you'll cross paths again.
Oh yeah,
and
Jason,
then,
we gonna connect, okay?
Yeah, dude.
The next time you at Grady V's and I'm at the bar, dude, come see me.
Speaking of bar, hey, you brought some goodies for me and you to sip on.
Oh, that's right.
Vaughn didn't have a lot of whiskey selection, so
Now you gotta go.
Don't blame that on me. You purposely went. You purposely went with a Christmas glass so you could. So you could say, what was it? Are you serious, Clark?
yeah. Dane's got a Christmas wine glass.
I got a Christmas gnome.
There you go, man. Hey.
I think it tastes the same. I don't think it makes it taste.
It does make a
different.
difference. It does make a difference. I didn't want to do plastic where you couldn't see what we were drinking, because
Yeah.
people wouldn't know that we're boozing it up, man.
No, and that's a special single barrel too. So
It's good stuff. What's up, Vonnie?
dude, it's been a day.
Yeah, so we're excited, man.
I am too.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
So me and Dane connected. Man, I was actually driving to Florida for my kids' baseball, and I don't know if I seen an ad or something on Instagram. And so his company, Bourbon Watch Company, I'm a big watch guy. I saw it. I was like, oh man, these are dope. And then like I sent it to a buddy of mine, because that's what happened. I got a friend who's a big bourbon drinker, likes watches as well. I sent him this. I said, dude, check this brand out. He's like, holy crap. He's like, it's heaven. It's like 2 in 1. And so I sent him, I think I sent you a message once I connected with you. We started talking from there, man. And so we've kind of been figuring out. You sent me one of these pieces, man. It's super nice. Just got the new box in. So
Yep.
I've been talking to him. Once I get it, we're going to do since I got it, we're going to do an unboxing video. So
Yeah, those boxes came out so nice.
Dude,
I'm
it's-
really happy with how they came out.
it's nice, man. So so I guess tell us a little about how this started, man. We're kind of curious, man. I know Vaughn's a big watch guy too, so this was something. I was like, man, we want to know, how does one start a watch company, and like, where do you even begin?
Start from the beginning. Yeah.
It's a long. Well, you see, if you got to start from the beginning.
We got time.
Yeah. So Sam Cooke put it, I was born by the river in a little tent. And that's basically the story of my life, except in my case, the tent was a little 150-year-old cypress wood house on the banks of the Mississippi River in Vacherie, Louisiana.
Yep.
Excuse me. So my parents my parents' family, man, they came over to Louisiana in 1721. and they lived in that same little stretch of the Mississippi River. I grew up in this really old house for the first 4 years, and so my roots are really, really deeply connected to Louisiana.
Okay.
Being a watch guy myself, I've always wanted to start my own company. And, I just for the longest time, I didn't know what it was I wanted to do. I was like, I want to start a company, but I don't want to do, I didn't want to sell cheap stuff. I didn't want to sell, you see a lot of these guys, well, they'll get into e-commerce and they'll sell cheap stuff on Amazon.
Yep.
I didn't want to do that. I was like, I consider myself a creative at heart. So I was like, I love watches. Why not start a watch brand? That's kind of how it started in my mind. And it's like, well, if I do it, I got to do it right. And I want to, I want to make sure they're Swiss made. I want to make sure they're as highly, excuse me. I want to make sure they're as high a quality as I can get it. Simply because I find that when you look at brands like Patek Philippe, Vacheron Constantin, those are five-figure watches. That's not attainable for most people. I was like, can we get something of that quality in a watch that's around the $1,000 price point? And I consider that price point kind of be the attainable price for, your average middle-class guy. $1,000 for a really nice, high-quality Swiss dress watch. I was like, let's get something of that quality or approaching that quality and that style at that price point. And I was like, well, shoot, my roots go back in Louisiana so deep. And I did some digging. I'm like, man, there's no New Orleans watch brand. And you have all these guys that they'll start a watch company and they try to, they try to have a hook. So there's a couple companies that do automotive and their watches are automotive inspired. I'm like, well, shoot, why don't I do something that's New Orleans inspired, that's Louisiana inspired? And kind of hits that old New Orleans aesthetic, hits that classic refined aesthetic. And let's build a watch like that, something that's so unique. And so when I started thinking of that, I'm like, man, what'd be a good name? And, Bourbon, first thing comes to mind. And it's like, Bourbon Watch Company.
Yeah. I like
Dude, that sounds so cool. I was like, you could just picture, you're drinking your bourbon, got that old New Orleans feel. So I'm like, yeah, let's go that way. Got with a designer, opened the business, did the filings, got with a designer. Me and her sat down. We worked it out. The design kind of had something in my head. And shout out Kelsey Scott, Scotty Art. She was the one that kind of helped get the product to life.
So she drew it up for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was basically us collaborating what was in my head, getting it down onto paper. And yeah, so I found a manufacturer in Switzerland, corresponded with them, and I was like, this is what we want to do. We sent them the specs. I said, it has to have Swiss made movie. This is a Swiss manufacturer, made right around I think across the street from Omega, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh wow.
So big watchmaking area.
Yeah.
Just a few kilometers south of where my mom's family was from in eastern France. So not far from my mom's family's homeland, all the way back to 1721. And we I think we made sure to add all the high refinements, the Geneva striping, the perlage on the base plate. Make sure it has a see-through case back so you can see the quality in there. And
I think the sight glass behind is always nice touch for automatic watches.
Yeah.
Especially with the jewels and things like that.
It needs to have it, in my opinion. If you're gonna have a regular everyday beater watch, okay, fine. But if you're gonna put all that effort and work into it, making it as highly refined and decorated, man, you want to see it. You don't want to hide that behind something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the open face back. It looks good.
Yeah. So was this your original design, or did you work towards this? What came out, like far as the look from your head to her page?
Hell yeah, brother.
Every Halloween, you hear about the dangers and the candy that your kids will get. But this year, the real tricks are in the meat aisle. Good Ranchers wants to take the trick out of your meat, and they're throwing in a treat for my listeners. Lab-grown meat is growing more and more popular. Foreign meat dresses up in a product of USA label, and mRNA vaccine development is on the rise for agriculture. What's in your food and meat is even more in question than ever before.
Amidst these haunting truths, the real hero rises.
Good Ranchers. As the number one place to get America's beef, pork, chicken, and seafood delivered, Good Ranchers products are transparently sourced, all-American, and delicious. When you shop at goodranchers.com, you don't have to question where your meat's coming from. We know. It's America. Duh. With a 100% American guarantee and transparent vaccination policy, you'll always know where your meat comes from and what's in it. Take the mystery out of the meat aisle. Visit goodranchers.com. Use my code DNDPOD to get $30 off and free express shipping of your box of America's best meat and seafood today. That code DNDPOD for $30 off your box at goodranchers.com. American meat delivered.
Hell yeah, brother.
That's for this watch. That's the original design.
Okay.
There was another watch that I have in mind, but to do what I want to do with that watch, there was no way to do it at the price point we wanted to do it. I mean, that's something that would be closer to maybe $2,000, and
Like a skeleton movement or something?
No, just I don't want to give too much away because I say it's the third watch that I'm going to produce. I want it to be that third watch. I got the idea for the second one.
Okay.
And once we actually build up the company, build up our space in the market, and we're recognizable, and people are asking people to pay $1,000 on a startup, it's already a big ask. So I want to make sure that we have a good, healthy customer base before we drop that third one. So for this watch, for what it was, this is basically the original concept in my head rendered onto paper. But that third one, man, that's gonna be nice.
Yeah. So you just have a bunch of stuff. I guess you have this is like you're trying to build a brand here. I mean, you're really trying to build a watch brand that's gonna take off and be like a. When I see this, not to compare it to anything, I'm thinking more like Shinola, like the Shinola, how they have their style. Their look is, they have their look.
Exactly.
But,
and I want this to have a particular look.
Yeah. Yeah, because I can spot Omega from a mile away. I can spot a Breitling from right away. Rolex is pretty recognizable, depending on the flute or the bezel, depending on what's going on with it. So, yeah, dude, this is like I said, man, this is a great looking watch. I love the crescent moon on the sweeping hand. It's
Crescent City.
Yeah, it's a nice touch.
And that was really the thing with going with the the movement we use is Solita SW210. Watch guys will know what that means. But so it's a Swiss made movement. The reason we went with that is it doesn't have any complications other than, of course, the second hand, the minute hand. There's no date complication. There's no added complications. The reason we went with a mechanical hand winding, non-automatic, non-complicated movement is because I wanted to really render out what is the ethos of this company. What is the look and the style of this watch? And you start trying to design around a date window. You start trying to design around other complications and other things. You kind of lose some of that. So it's like, what is the purest, not to get philosophical, but what is the purest essence of what this company is in watch form, and trying to communicate that. So that was the exploration behind this one. So I think me and Kelsey did a really, really great job of, I'm going to toot my own horn, I'm going to toot hers. And
Go for it, man. Go for it.
we did I'm so happy with, how we kind of came to this, because from my mind, there's really nothing else like this on the market. It's not, it's a classic gentleman's wristwatch that could also be worn by women. My wife wears this watch. It looks great on her wrist, even though she has the smallest wrist in the world. Yeah. It's a 39 for everybody watching. It's a 39 millimeter, so it fits just about any wrist, unless you have like a massive 8-inch wrist. It might not fit, but it'll fit most guys' wrists.
I've got little wrists too, and it fits me very comfortable. I like the buckle. It's a nice look, and for being a 39, it doesn't look.
No.
As like some 39s will feel small on your wrist.
Yeah.
I guess the size of this casing, it feels more like 40-41. It really fits more like that.
It looks like a 40.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, man, you did a bang up job for sure.
Part of that too is the lug to lug. The lug to lug's not massive, but having those teardrop, or you could call them teardrop, you could call them corn de vache style lugs. It's an old, not Omega, it's an old Vacheron Constantin thing. It kind of extends the lug to lug, so it makes it a little bit bigger on the wrist. So it wears a little bit bigger than a 39, but it wears super, super comfortably.
I've got an aunt that has 3 Pateks, dude, and she's got she's got that the Tiffany collab one.
Wait, the The Nautilus, the recent one?
She had this a couple years ago, so I don't know. But
okay.
they have another one that's Tiffany, and then she's got one that she just got replaced out the buckle with the diamond buckle. Ooh. Yeah, dude. She wears a few of them here and there, but she keeps them in the safe. I mean, because that's probably a couple $100,000 worth of watches right there.
Yeah, you don't want to make an oops and look at your wrist and go, where'd it go? Where'd 6 figures just fall or 5 figures fall?
Oh gosh.
How old are you?
30 years old.
30. Okay.
Yep.
So what were you doing prior to? I guess what were you doing when you decided to like start this, and then how long was it from whenever you and her sat down, thought of the concept, put it down, to being okay, man, I'm a full on watch guy.
Oh, well, I was in banking. I'm actually still in banking.
Okay.
So I still maintain a day job. You can't
maintain.
you still got to pay the bills. The company's still definitely not at the point where it's paying the bills. I'm definitely at the day job, definitely gonna be at the day job for the indefinite future until, never know what might happen one day. But yeah, still working a day job in banking. We started this, I think 2021 is when I officially kind of got the idea, in late 2020, probably August 2020, and I sat around for it a few months, and I would doodle and write some stuff at home. I write some notes. What would the company look like? What would be the name? And it just kind of sat in a drawer. And then early 2021, I was like, man, I got to get off my ass and actually commit to this. And I filed the business filings. I'm like, I'm not putting it off any longer. And around that time is when I got with her. I met her through a friend of mine, Sarah, who actually did the photography for the watches. She was like, I got a graphic designer friend. I'm like, this would be perfect. I'm like, awesome. So 2021 was when we started. And we launched this year. We launched on Mardi Gras Day for pre-orders. So that was late February. We got our first shipment out in March. So, you're looking at 2 years from the time the initial business was filed and open to when we were actually shipping product. It was an effort.
That seems pretty quick.
Yeah, that did.
From
very quick.
being having a Swiss watchmaker make them for you, and like.
Yeah, and that was with some COVID interruptions. They were still a little behind from COVID. We got backed up with Hurricane Ida. That threw a wrench into everything. That backed us up for a few months. I think we were out without power for like 3 weeks. Yeah. So that kind of backed things up a little bit on my end. So, but yeah, it moved quickly. Getting it, from kind of initial concept to getting product out there, and now it's just about really getting the name out there, getting telling people who we are, getting the message out there, getting the visibility, and getting people to see how awesome of a brand this is, and what it is we're looking to do.
That's crazy. So what were your sales like for that your first launch?
Sales were really good. I'll say they met expectations.
Okay.
They definitely met where I wanted to be is where we were. And we've kind of maintained. So I'm really happy, especially with being such a new brand and still getting people to discover it and still trying to, I'm still working out the kinks on the marketing end. Like, where do we put the ad spend? Where do we put the marketing? Where do we go to find our customer? That's really the challenging part. The fun part is the creating and the designing. But once you actually have a product and you have to say, all right, where are our customers at specifically, and how do we reach them? That's the thing that you really got to start to figure out. And you kind of start throwing things against the wall and saying, okay, put money here into this avenue, tried this didn't really work, but this worked really well. So you kind of feel it out, and you learn, and once you find that niche.
Yeah.
And definitely got some plans that I'm working on to help expand that purview and kind of open it up and, get people learning who we are. Part of it's being on podcasts like this,
there
just
you
kind
go.
of telling the story, man. I love it.
Yeah. No, that's a big part, dude.
Dude, I will say that I know starting businesses, nobody knows. You have an idea, right? But where you spend money on ad revenue, all this other stuff.
Yep.
It's like you basically scratch the surface on everything, see what works, and then dig deep on that avenue. And man, it's word of mouth is the best. That's the best sales in the world.
That's what I've learned. I try to do as much in person as possible. I had an advisor that I work with, real experienced guy, been in this industry or in around this industry for a long time, has started businesses, and he's given me some awesome advice. And what he told me early on was, it's got to be in person, man. You got to be out there telling your story in front of people. And I got to say, that's where the best breaks come from. Because, you might not sell, I'll go out there to business events. I'll go to as much stuff as I can after work. I pack up my car, I clock out of work, and I'm heading straight to New Orleans, and I'm shaking hands and I'm meeting people. I was at an event the other day, they had some NBA players there, and I'm, just trying to meet people and shake hands. And, even if you don't get a sale or anything out of that event, it's about who do you meet at that event who knows somebody who gives you the next big break. And
who can leverage you.
I've had some awesome breaks from things like that, getting into jewelry shops from doing things like that. And it's amazing what being in person and just talking with people could do.
Are you selling these in any retail locations right now?
Got 2 retail locations. So in my hometown of Thibodaux, Birdsall Jewelers is carrying it. And then in New Orleans, Symmetry Jewelers is carrying it. Symmetry is in uptown New Orleans. Oh man, I can't remember the street. It's in the Carrollton area, right? Not too far off of Carrollton.
Okay.
My apologies on the specific streets of Symmetry. I forgot the exact street, but it's right off Carrollton. If anybody's interested in taking a look in person, that's the big thing. That was a big thing, is I want to make sure we start moving into jewelry shops. And then I have another guy, I don't want to say too much on it, I'm working on a collab to be in his shop. We're going to be announcing that probably in the next couple weeks.
Nice. Is Oakland Heart still over there, Metairie?
Oakland Heart is still over there, yep.
I got connections in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to. I talked to him over the phone a little bit, kind of when we were first opening and first starting, and things kind of just, I probably should have followed up a little bit more, but things kind of, never really took off. So, if you got somebody, I'd love to sit down with them.
One of my good friends, his wife, that's her family. She used to live in Metairie, and we would go there all the time from Lake Charles.
Mm-hmm.
We'd go stay the weekend in Metairie, and she worked there. I got my wife's engagement ring from Oakland Heart.
Really?
Yeah, we went there, did had a little private deal.
Yeah.
Got it from there. And but that was a really nice place. It was one of those ones you couldn't just walk in that place the way it was set up back then.
Yeah.
But I know they're a nice jeweler.
Yeah.
But I'll definitely talk to her to see. I'll try to get a connection for you to be another, a warmer handoff. Maybe it might be what you need.
Yeah, definitely. I always say, if I could just get in the door, shake hands, and show people the watches, it makes all the difference.
There, and I got a place in Lake Charles called Nederland Jewelers.
Okay.
So I know the guys. So the guy that used to own that, he's retired, but he's still around. But this guy Ryan Murphy, I know he bought it. He's younger. He's probably, I'm 40, you're 30. He's probably 33, 34, maybe.
Yeah.
Him and his wife, they have it now. But that's where, man, I bought a few watches from them guys, and they carry some nice stuff. So I do have a few connections in that game that I can at least put you to.
Definitely. No, I'd appreciate it.
It may help getting it out there in Lake Charles. And Lake Charles, I know they sell a lot of watches in Lake Charles.
See, kids, you come to the pod to do business
That's
deals.
it, man.
That's how business deals are done.
But it's right up your alley far.
It's
in
definitely.
Louisiana, man. It's in the
Yeah.
South. It's people help people. That's how it is in Louisiana, man. It's just
That's my goal to start moving into some jewelry shops, because a lot of people want to see watches before they buy, and I don't blame them. That's why I want to be in shops. I want people to have a place that they could discover it.
yeah. So when I seen yours, a big watch guy, one, it caught my eye, and then the name caught my eye first. I saw the name.
Yeah.
Then I clicked on I don't know how I saw it, came across it, but I was like, man, this is a good looking watch, man. So I really am a watch guy to where, if it wasn't a good looking watch, I probably would never followed you or anything.
Yeah.
Really, that's how I am about watching them. He knows, I love them. And
Yeah.
so I remember texting. I think I remember sending him a message. I'm like, dude, check this watch out. And I was like, we gotta get you in here, which is one, because we like to get any and everybody on here, especially people with business we can help promote. But
Yeah.
I think the watchmaking side is I know I want to get into next is fascinating, man.
It's so awesome.
Dude, I'm sitting here thinking making a watch, specifically making a watch, that has to be some really intricate details that have to go through to it.
It's so much. Now, I don't personally hand assemble them, so we do have the official Swiss made designation, so they are officially Swiss made watches. But that's my next endeavor, is to actually start getting into them and understanding the craft itself. And if I could have, people ask like, oh, would you want to make them in the future? And I always say that would be ideal, but that's like that's a 10-year plan, because there's just no infrastructure in the United States to build watches. At least you could do it, but it's so difficult. So I do want to get in there, start actually learning, and like a lot of people, I've looked at the YouTube videos. I've done research, so I could look at a movement and I know how the movement works theoretically, but I want to be able to take the sucker apart and put it back together. That's my next thing.
So my question is, okay, so you're working with this group in where are we at again? France?
In Switzerland.
Yeah. So in Switzerland, you're talking to them. What kind of communication was that to get what you needed and for them to produce the piece you want? Like, how tough was that as far as getting that done?
It wasn't that bad. So they offer design services in-house.
Okay.
So they'll help you design, but my big thing is I wanted it to keep as much local as we can. So I knew I wanted the Swiss made designation. I knew I didn't want to just order pieces and parts out of a catalog from the Far East and just
NH35 like Seiko.
I didn't want to stay on the lower end. I wanted to definitely offer something that was a classic, real high quality Swiss made watch, because I'm emulating Patek and Vacheron and those types of companies. So I wanted to keep as much local as possible, so most of the design work was done here at home. The one thing we didn't do was the CAD drawings, but me and Kelsey had the full thing basically rendered on what we wanted it to look like. Everything was basically picked out in, between me and her, and we sent them everything, and they took what we did, and they just did the CAD drawing up from there. So it wasn't a really difficult process, especially since they do design work in-house. They got people that can do the CAD work.
Yeah. They're geniuses at this. I mean,
exactly.
This is what they do every day. Like
exactly. I'm like, this is what I want it to look like.
They're like, we got you, Junior.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, we can do that. They were like, oh, well, we don't know if we can do this one thing. Let's see. Because I wanted to do brush case sides, but polish the lugs. And they're like, oh, we don't know if we can do that. And it's like, let's see. And then they came back a day later. It's like, yeah, we could do that. I'm like, you got it.
That's cool, man.
That one you're wearing is actually one of my favorite ones.
That's the big seller.
I mean,
that's the big seller.
That olive green, or what's the actual color?
I call it streetcar green. It's modeled after the St. Charles streetcar. So every watch is designed with so it's the Root Canal collection, but each dial represents a different, I guess you would say, vibe of New Orleans. And that was the thing. I didn't want to do white dial, black dial, blue dial like most brands do. I was like, let's do a light color and a dark color, and let's do a showpiece watch. What's the showstopper? And so we have the cream dial, which is supposed to represent that's the one Dale has. This represents a warm summer day in New Orleans. So it's the, kind of just a warm cream. You feel that heat radiating off in it.
Yeah, that's why I'm hot too.
It is a little warm. I like it. The whiskey keeps you warm. That's what it. But so it's the cream dial with the wrought iron black printing and the I call it Spanish stucco accents. So you look around New Orleans, a lot of the buildings around the French Quarter. Or have that kind of salmon or that kind of Spanish colored stucco. That's what it's supposed to represent. And then you have the night dial, which is New Orleans after dark. It's a dark dial with moon white printing and gold accents, and the gold is the gas lanterns that you see in the French Quarter. And then the green one I call streetcar. It's uptown New Orleans. So it's the same color as the St. Charles streetcar. It has gold accents. It has gold printing and red accents, just like the streetcar has the red streak going down the side of it. So if I'd have known, I knew that was going to be the big seller. I knew that just talking to people, they're like, man, I love the green one. So I'm like, I'm going to order a few more of that green one. But if I'd have known, I'd have ordered 10 times as much, man. We sell that one, I think, 10 to 1 over the others.
Really?
It's ridiculous. Everyone wants the green dial.
Yeah, so I think... And I'm like the guy says in person, because they got to see your passion behind. Like, you put a lot of thought into this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And your passion, I mean, we can see it like far as how much like, dude, you're giddy over these damn watches, dude.
yeah.
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. but that's what's gonna
talking about it.
that's what's gonna sell it, man. Like
Yeah.
like like okay, hey man, it's a cool watch, but dude, you hear the guy behind it that really you give a shit, man, and you really like you have a story back from the old days of like you read your story and it really makes a lot of sense to where you're like, I like that. It's not just a watch I'll see at Macy's I want to buy. You know how it is. You really have a story behind this, and you put really a lot of effort in each timepiece, which is sweet, man.
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build out a lot of our social media pages to where I'm out there telling the story a little bit more, showcasing the watches a little bit more. I've been renovating a room in my house to be kind of my official studio, so hopefully in the next couple months we get that up and running. Do some YouTube videos, some TikToks, shorts, different things like that. Kind of get my face out there a little bit more because I took my mentor's advice and I was like, if selling in person helps so much more, let's bring that onto the internet and kind of do in-person sales on the internet, getting to know me, getting to know the brand, the company, the face behind it.
Well, hey, we're not scared to go to New Orleans. You ever need us to come up for an event, dude?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We'll roll, dude.
Next time Cajun Ninja's cooking, y'all let
Dude.
me know. I'm like 10 minutes away from his house, I think.
We need to. I've been telling him because they come here all the time.
Yeah.
And I've been telling him, I was like, we were gonna stop that time on the way to Florida when I was messing with you.
Oh yeah.
But he was opening his one of his Taekwondo studios was opening, and like they had something planned, so I didn't get to go. But man, we definitely need to go make a trip down that way, and
Yeah.
it'd be cool to do some stuff with you, man.
I want to cook a red bean gumbo with him.
Red bean gumbo.
Red bean gumbo. I'm trying to make red bean gumbo happen.
I don't know, dude. That sounds weird.
Oh, that's a old
Red bean gumbo.
It's starting to take off. I'm seeing more and more about
So
it.
tell me about it.
Yeah, that's an old river parish dish.
Okay.
So the way it works, the way the story goes is how you make your red beans on Monday night.
Yep.
Feed your family. Well, on Tuesday, you ain't got enough red beans to feed the family again because you only made enough for the first night. You maybe got a little bit of leftovers. So you chop up your Trinity, you make a roux, throw your leftover red beans in, and you make a gumbo out of it.
Okay.
That was an old Great Depression recipe. That was really popular in the river parishes. My grandfather used to make it all the time. So with every watch I sell, I send with a 1 pound bag of Camellia red beans.
And the recipe, yep.
And the recipe card for my own personal red bean recipe. And then there's a little QR code take you to the website to do red bean gumbo. And it's starting to take off a little bit. I'm seeing more and more people talk about it. But there's a lot of gatekeeping around it. People saying that, like, that's not a real dish. Man, that's not the Louisiana dish. You can't do that. And it's like, you ain't never been to the river parishes if you ain't never seen it.
Well, then I need to connect you with Cajun Ninja. This is something that y'all can talk about. He's going to be working on a second cookbook. You never know, man.
Oh, yeah.
So it might be something he can
get
do
it
a
in that
collab with,
cookbook.
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty cool. We could definitely. I need to tell him about you, man. Because like I said, that would be cool. Especially right there, dude. Like it's.
Oh yeah, like I said, I see him all the time. I've been too bashful to kind of go up and shake hands with him. It's like I don't want to bother him while he's eating.
Dude, he will go talk to you. Trust me, that's just how he is. He's You need to. He's a great dude, man. He's an open book with everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, help me and Magnus were shopping for that time we cooked the gumbo.
I saw that. Yeah.
And but we ran to one of the ladies like they sample wine at the stores.
Mm-hmm.
He started talking to her. And he's like, "You ever heard of the Cajun Ninja?" She's like, "What?" And he told her about. He goes, "I got it over there on the aisle. They got seasoned my face on it, She's like, "Oh, I got to get me one." So he's like, "Hey, I want to go." So he went and grabbed her one and gave her $5. Here, I'm paying for your seasoning. And it was just funny. That's just how he is, man. But he's a marketing genius, dude. I mean, like he's out there.
Oh yeah,
very relatable. I think it's just he's just a good old Louisiana boy that it's fun to talk to. And
a lot of people don't know this, but he actually doesn't cook.
Yeah.
No, I'm totally kidding.
Could have fooled me.
But yeah, dude, a collab like that could be pretty epic, man. I think we'll work on that.
Definitely.
Behind the scenes.
Now I'm interested in this red beans dish here.
Dude, my
Red
wife's
bean gumbo.
I showed her with the box that had the
Yeah.
thing. I was like, I need to cook your red beans and rice because my wife's favorite, her favorite dish is red beans and rice.
The last time I had red beans and rice was from Popeyes.
Oh my god.
Well, you
dude.
want to know the cheat to red bean gumbo? Go to Popeyes, get you 2 large red beans, no rice.
Yep.
That's the cheat.
That's your base.
I'll do that all the time. Now, it's better if you use homemade red beans, but like if you don't want to cook, because like
You got to soak your beans. There's a lot.
yeah, it's like, oh, hold on, I gotta cook a whole dish before I cook another dish, and it's like, well, what you could do is you go to Popeyes, let them do the first one for you, and then you make the gumbo out of it. So it's just it's red beans with, I mean, it's gumbo with red beans added to it, but actually cooked red beans, not raw
Mashed
red
up.
beans.
Yeah.
Yeah, so actual mashed up red beans.
Yeah, and it kind of it makes it creamier too. I mean,
It does.
because even when you make red beans and rice, you usually take a cup or two out, mash it up,
Yep.
put it back in there. That helps thicken it up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I used to make some red beans and rice too. It's good stuff, man.
such a good dish.
It is.
I'm so hungry.
Hey, you want to know another good thing to do with red beans? Not that I'm getting off of watches and getting
all
off
good.
of food,
No, we like red beans.
So one of my secret, I didn't put it in the recipe card because I didn't want to scare people, but one of the best things to do in red beans is smoked pigtails.
Okay.
Now you don't serve it with the smoked pigtails, but as the beans are boiling and they're cooking down, put smoked pigtails in there because there's so much fat and cartilage in there.
Okay.
It just leaches into the red beans, and then when it's done, you take them out, you throw them away. You don't tell anybody you put that in there because they're not going to eat
Okay.
it.
'Cause most people put some tasso or something in there, but it ain't the same because they ain't got. There's no fat in that really the tasso. I mean, there's some, but it's not.
I'll put tasso in it. Yeah, I'll put tasso. I'll put smoke. I just go to the smoke kind of section at Rouse's and I'll see what they got. Like if they got turkey necks or if they got smoked, smoked pork collar, maybe smoked
Pork
shank.
collar?
Yeah, smoked
I didn't
pork
even know that was a
collar.
thing.
Smoke hog shanks. Shank is really good.
shins and hips.
Anything that they got smoked, I just put it in there and I let it cook. Now I usually only serve it with just the sausage, but I'll put pigtail or whatever in there just to add the flavor.
Yeah. Okay.
Then you just take it out when it's done, and it makes it so creamy.
That's the bad thing about here in Texas. Like, dude, being from Louisiana, like, it's hard for me to find good sausage here. Like, that's tough right there. Along having good smoked sausage.
Yeah.
You can go to any grocery store where I'm from, dude. You get some killer stuff.
Oh
man.
yeah.
We're the home of smoked sausage.
No, you're not.
Now we are.
No, you're not. Y'all use summer sausage here, dude. It's weird.
Oh man, I love me some summer sausage.
You ever had that?
I like summer sausage.
It's good.
We got that. Yeah, we have summer sausage.
It's good, but it's all right. I mean, it ain't that good.
We got all kind of cured meats. You go to a Cajun specialty market, get summer sausage, smoked sausage, andouille, Madeleine. They got all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Good Cajun meat market.
So, how much do you cook a lot yourself?
Oh yeah. Probably I cook most nights of the week. Probably at least 4 or 5 times a week.
Louisiana people do love cooking more than anybody
love.
I've ever met.
My wife don't
it's-
touch a stove.
My wife, me and my wife been together 21 years. She's never cooked for me once.
Really?
Yep.
The one my
I
wife
cook.
surprised me with breakfast in bed one morning, and it was like, oh my god, that was the best gift you ever gave me.
Yeah.
Was it waffles? Eggo waffles?
I don't even remember what it was.
You put butter. You put butter on them. They
Lego
taste, they
Mango.
taste like they're delicacies.
Yeah, or the Belgian style Eggo waffles are really good.
Oh man, I like
Those are
those.
good.
I gotta try that one.
I mean, if you get past the preservatives,
Yeah.
they're phenomenal. I mean, they're great.
Yeah, dude, I love cooking. I think it's just I like the entertaining part. I like working to cook, to watch people enjoy your food, man. That's really, I think that's I know that it's everywhere, but it is a Louisiana thing for sure, man. Like
Oh,
when I
100%.
cook, I cook for bulk. It's just how I was raised. That's how I cook. I don't cook I can't just cook for my family of 4. Like I got enough for 20 people usually when I cook. It's just how it is, man.
Oh yeah, I love cooking for people. I think one of the I'm not gonna say fight, but quote unquote fights. One of the biggest disagreements my wife had is I cooked a dish, and I thought it was so good, and I slaved over it for hours. And she's a real picky eater, and she ate it, and she's like, I don't like it.
Oh man.
And she's like, I'm sure it tastes good, and like it hit me to the bone, man, to the bone. I was like, it's so good.
What was the dish?
I don't even remember. I think
Oh, it wasn't that good.
some kind of maybe like I don't think it was a chicken fricassee. I think it was like a chicken dish, like a French style chicken dish.
Yeah.
Well, I would have liked it.
I'm Vaughn. I'm gonna serve it for you next time.
I would have
I'm gonna cook for you next time you come in.
I'm the least picky eater there ever was.
Oh, I love experimenting.
But I hate to tell people from Louisiana that the thing I hate the most in the entire world is celery.
I like
And,
celery.
It's
I get that though. I get
It's
that.
strong. It can overpower a dish.
It can overpower a dish. It really can. What I do when I cook, because my wife don't like celery either. She doesn't like a lot of things.
I like her. Why didn't you
But
bring her?
I should have. She's in the hotel room. She's 5 minutes down the road.
You should have brought her to hang out. Usually,
Yeah,
usually we have
golly.
guests. Usually they'll bring their wives. They hang
Yeah.
out. Cut
Well, I
up.
wasn't sure. She was like, "I'm gonna just stay in the hotel room."
Okay.
I'm like,
Oh,
"Okay."
we could have trashed celery for now.
I know. So what I do is I sneak it in by what my ratios. I'll do 2 parts onion, 1 part bell pepper, 1 part celery. But I dice the celery so fine, you're not gonna get a chunk of celery in something I cook. Like I will cut it down, dice it to it's basically almost like a paste. Like I
Yeah.
get it super, super, super fine. That way you get the essence of it in there. You get kind of the good celery flavors, but it's not like a strong. You're not gonna bite into a piece of celery.
Yeah.
I mean, celery for me is auto puke. Like literally.
Really?
I could take a bite of celery and it'll make me gag.
Magnus, give us some celery.
Do not do that.
Come on, we're
I'm not
gonna
gonna do that.
fear factor.
I'll tell you right now, if y'all give me celery, I'm puking on whoever's closest.
Oh, that's worth it.
But you're a guest.
That'd
We
be
can't
funny.
do that to you.
Should get Joe Rogan in here to give you a piece of celery.
Dude.
Oh, Fear Factor days.
I'll puke on Joe Rogan.
No, you won't.
Right on his face.
He'll choke you out.
Well, I'll probably be dead anyway. Just because of celery.
So what's more about you, man? Like
Yeah.
what's your background before? Like what do you do? What do you do at Thibodeau outside of being a watch enthusiast?
Yeah. Day jobs in banking. That pays the bills. That keeps the roof over the head and lets me kind of explore this opportunity. But honestly, before, I guess I don't want to. Don't know how to put it. Like just kind of like living. I was living life before. Always thinking of, always trying to find what that thing was that I really, really, was passionate about, what I wanted to do. So yeah, I'd go to work during the day and come home and I'd try this hobby, that hobby, and always knowing in the back of my mind was like, man, I want to be a businessman. So, and that's kind of the avenue I went in. Really, most of my time is spent with the business now. So I'll get off, like I said earlier, I'll get off of work, at 4:00, and I'm going to New Orleans. I'm going to meet people. I try to get involved as much stuff as I can in the city. Chambers of commerce, meeting people, talking with people, shaking hands. So really, the business consumes most of my life, kind of outside of work. But still find time for downtime. Me and my wife love to travel, love to take trips when we can. We've been to Europe, been to Colorado, so we try to travel around, see different things while we're young before we have kids, want to get that all out the way before. So it's fun. It's just, it's the business. It's the business 24/7. I wake up at 4, start working on the business, get back from work, do some more work. That occupies a lot of my time.
And whenever it really, really, really takes off, I
Yeah.
can guarantee you that you're not going to get more sleep.
No.
It's going to continue.
No.
Well, your mind's going to. I mean, like I said, you're already thinking about your second, third pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you have names for your second? What's your collection we call for your second one? Can you disclose that or?
You don't have to.
I'm gonna play my cards close to my chest on that one.
Celery.
Yeah,
That's a weird name. That's a weird name for watch collection.
It's
but
a
okay.
celery
Yeah,
collection.
hey, it's gonna be good.
No,
I'm gonna make a celery, one-off celery watch just for
Dude,
fun, and I'm
dude,
gonna
there
set
you
it up.
go.
Here you go.
Yeah. Put those little
pull this
veins. Put those little veins in it. And make it waterproof because I'll puke on it.
Yeah. Well, the next one's gonna be. Well, this one's waterproof. It's 50 meters water resistance, but the next one's gonna be a more sports style watch.
Okay.
And that's kind of the one big piece of feedback I get is definitely a lot of people want sports watches. And I intentionally stayed away from sports watches on this one, just because
I mean, you can find a
wanted
sports
a
watch
nice-
everywhere, man.
Yeah, I want it to be different. I was like, man, I want a nice kind of in between where it could be a dress watch or it could be an everyday casual, office casual watch. That's the direction I specifically wanted to go in. But the next one's going to be a sports piece.
Okay. Yeah. So what are the watches you have outside of yours? Did you have any grill pieces or any pieces of watches that you've had like you loved?
I mean, Seikos, Timexes, Citizens. I really kind of stayed more in the affordable end initially. I was kind of saving up, putting money aside for a Tudor, and then I got the idea to start the brand. And so I was like, well, probably shouldn't, dump money into a watch if I'm going to be dumping it into a business. But I've through this, I've gotten to handle a lot of really awesome watches. I've gotten to handle some Rolexes, some classic Rolexes. I don't think I've handled a... Have I handled a Patek? I don't think I've handled a Patek yet. But I've got to get hands-on with some really awesome watches, Tudors, Rolexes, some Omegas, some IWCs. I love looking at them.
Dude, I love
trying
watches,
them
man.
on.
My Instagram algorithm is shoes and watches. Watches are like my favorite thing to look at.
That's what mine looks
I
like.
want them all. I want every watch out there.
And once you get bit, it's...
Yeah, I've been
keep going.
I was a watch guy early on, man.
Yeah.
I had watches, and I always wore watches even as a kid.
That's how I was.
Some people wear watches, some people don't. I've always worn a watch. I like to have it on. So much so, like I bought me a G-Shock just to wear, like when I was coaching baseball, to have a watch on, because like I hated swinging a bat or I don't play golf with a watch. I bought my first Tudor in 2020.
Really?
That I wanted that Tudor Royale 41. So that came out.
that
I was like, man, it's good. It's a good European look, kind of like AP look to it.
Yeah.
And I remember calling the jeweler in Houston, Lewis Jeweler, and they're like, man, that's only released in Europe. Can't get it. I'm
Really?
like, damn, that was in September 2020. Okay. I was like, all right, man. Like I bought other stuff from there, and then literally the week before Christmas, I get a phone call from Lewis Jeweler. Hey, we got your watch in. I'm like, what watch? She's like, that Tudor, you want it? She's like, it's held for you. We're not going to put it on the show or floor or anything until you come see it and you tell us yay or nay. And I went in. I'm like, yes, it's mine. I got that blue face one.
Yeah.
The one that David Beckham's wearing in the ad. I was like, I want that watch. And dude, for a price point, it was like $2,300.
They're not
and
bad.
I think I got it for $21 out the door. They gave me a deal.
Yeah.
But man, it's a great looking watch. It's real European sport, like sporty and dressy watch in one. So it's a good looking watch.
I find the best watches are the underrated ones. I find that's a big underrated spot on Tudor because everyone wants the Black Bay. Mm-hmm. Everyone wants
the Panda.
Exactly. Everybody wants the Panda. Everyone wants the GMT. Like, just steel sport is huge, and if you got a steel sport, that's what everybody wants. But I mean, even though technically that is a steel sport, but it's not that.
It's more dressy. It's
a lot more dressy, and I find that I don't know why that one's not as like held as. I guess it's not the hype. It's not the hype piece. Hype drives everything in high-end watches today.
I loved it. Like I said, I seen that one ad of Beckham. I was like, oh, dude, I got to have that watch.
I think it's one of the best ones they make.
And I couldn't believe the price point because a lot of Tudors are pretty high.
Yeah, I mean Tudor. That's you're looking 3, 4, at least 3 to 4 for some of the Black Bays.
And for me, when I look at the Tudors, I'm like, dude, for that price, I'm like, you might as well wait and buy a Rolex. If you're going to spend that, unless you really want a Tudor to like finish a collection, like if you have one of everything. But
you got to be able to get your hands on a Rolex.
Yeah, dude,
I've learned that.
Oh, you can get your hands on them. You just got to overpay for them.
Oh, you got to buy if you want like the in-demand ones. You got to buy 5 other watches before they even.
Yeah.
You got to buy the Tudor. You got to buy.
You got to have an AD that's going to take care of you.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's crazy. Submariners they go for $8,000 10 years ago, and now those same exact $8,000 subs are going for $15,000.
So I've got the Yachtmaster Platinum.
That's a nice one.
My brother-in-law gave me that as a gift. Probably, man, I forgot what year it was. Maybe 15, 16. We worked together and I did a lot for him, and we worked. We did well, man. And so, like I said, he gifted me that, and that's a hellacious gift, dude.
That's a big one. Your brother-in-law must love you.
Or he stole it. I don't know.
He stole it.
But yeah, dude, it's a great. But being a watch guy, like, dude, that's such a classic. That's a fine watch, and man, it's a.
That's what I love. I love real fine,
dude,
well-made pieces.
It's just, like something I can pass down to my kid, which is awesome. That's a cool thing about it. I think that's why I love watches more than anything, especially Swiss-made automatic or mechanical watches are great.
So those watches for me, like, I am not a consumer by any means. So when I look at like a watch, I want it to be versatile. These are extremely versatile. They're not crazy expensive. And any of the status watches that people have, like the Pateks and all those, Rolex is a status watch. I mean, that's what it is. Nobody, and I'm probably going to eat my own words for saying this. Nobody buys a Rolex because it just keeps great time.
No.
they buy it because there's a status piece. Those status pieces, I want those to be gifts.
Yep.
And I'm going to work my way to get gifts like
You
that.
can gift me one whenever you want.
Well, I'm saying I want somebody to give one to me.
Well,
It's not always about you.
no, you just badmouth it. I'm not getting you shit.
Badmouth what?
Watches. You badmouth Rolex. They keep great time. I've never had any problem with time on that.
They're known for keeping horrible time.
I've never had one issue of mine.
You like lose. Have you heard this before? I mean, is Rolex keeping not?
They
good
should
time?
keep decent time. They should. I mean, it's not gonna be. You're not guaranteed plus or minus 0 seconds per day. Like it might deviate 2, 3. I think ours is plus or minus because we use an elaborate grade movement, so it can be anywhere between plus or minus 7 seconds to plus or minus 21. Which, thankfully, most of ours are well under that. I think most of the ones I sent out. So before I send a watch out, I have a time grapher. I'll put it on, and I send customers a picture of the watch on the time grapher. Say, hey, look. Your watch is at plus or minus 4 seconds per day, which is well within elaborate grade standards. But any mechanical watch, I mean, you're looking at, if it keeps plus or minus 10, that's actually pretty decent, unless it's a chronometer. Now, if it's in a chronometer, it's super strict. Like it has to be plus or minus 2 seconds. But an official chronometer, they send to the observatory, I think in Geneva, and like it's locked in. Like they have to certify it that it's bang on. Now things could happen to it. It could get heavily magnetized. Like things could happen that it could potentially get off. But if it's an official chronometer, it has to be like I think it's plus or minus 2 seconds. I could be wrong on that, but it has to be super in. So if it says chronometer on it, it needs to keep good time. But if you want something that's gonna be plus or minus 0 seconds per day, I mean, a quartz watch or an Apple Watch, but
Yeah.
I mean, you buy mechanical watches not because you want to keep. Half the time, I don't even set my watch. I put it on my wrist. I leave for the day. I'll check my time on my phone. Honestly,
There's not a ton of time.
I never set the date on my watch.
Yeah.
I do mine. I'm just weird about it, but I don't.
I want something that looks good on my wrist. That's what I can. It's jewelry first and foremost.
Oh yeah. I dude. Even if I'm going down the road to a store, like just I'm at the house all day, I'll throw a watch on. I like having my jewelry on, man. It's just one of those things where I gotta have a piece on my wrist.
That's my thing. And it's like if I don't have time to set it, if I'm in a rush, I'll put it on. I'll set it later, and I'll set it eventually. But like when I get to where I'm going and I'm parking the car and I'm like, oh crap, I didn't set my watch.
Yeah.
Then I'll set it.
I used to wear watches on my right hand until I was about 28 years old, and then I switched over to my left because I'm actually left-handed.
Yeah.
But I write right-handed, and it was always one of those things where I'm like, I'm dragging a watch because I'm writing right-handed. Anyway, I got real weird. Now I started wearing it on the left.
See,
It still feels funny.
I keep a leather valet at my desk. I take my watch off, put it down every time I'm on computer. It's just I'm just weird about that.
I had mine on my right wrist the whole way here because we were doing my wife was doing videos because we could put a TikTok, Instagram reel together for the road trip, and I was like, well, I'm driving, like I want to see the watch in the shot, so I just put it on my right wrist. I had it the whole way here. Once we got to the hotel, I put it on the left wrist because it feels so weird having it on the wrist you're not used to.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine.
It's so strange.
What are your thoughts on watch winders, like those automatic winders?
I don't have really any harsh opinions on them. I don't have any.
I've got some.
I don't have any. I would say for all my automatics, I just kept them in, and whenever I needed to wind them, I'll take them out, I'll wind them up and set them. But if I had something like a perpetual calendar or an annual calendar, I would 100% have a watch winder because that is a pain in the ass to set if it's not constantly going. So if I had like a perpetual calendar, if I won the lottery and
you might get one as a gift.
I gotta find the right person to give me one as a gift.
Hey, they're out there.
They're out there. Dude, Paddocks are so sick.
Yeah,
they're so great.
There's a lot of talk about those watch winders on if it's good for your watch or if it's bad for, you always have somebody on one side, and so
it's a mechanical piece. Like it, as well made, even the best well made watch has to be serviced at some point. Like you could get 10 years down the line, you have to service it if you want it to keep operating well. So I mean, does it matter what it does, over that stretch of, that time? I haven't seen anything that it would like ruin the watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've used them. I've got a bunch of watches, but man, I rotate mine quite a bit. You know, I got a new piece that I really enjoyed. Is I got that yellow face Citizen Toshiba or whatever it's called. I've seen that one. They mimic the latest Oyster Perpetual Rolexes, the green, orange, Tiffany blue.
Yeah.
So
I know what you're talking about.
I bought that from a guy in Louisiana on eBay. Actually,
Really?
It was like you couldn't find that yellow one, and I found it. And dude, that thing, I get people ask about that all the time. It's a good looking band, yellow dial, and so it's different. And man, people ask about that thing because it just stands out. Like
it does.
It's just because you're not used to seeing a yellow face watch unless it's like a Avenger Breitling.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much yellow face watches like that.
I'm glad color's coming back in. That was one of the things when I designed this watch I wanted to do is I did not want to shy away from color. And when I first got the idea for the brand, that was before Rolex did, their colors and everything like that. So I was like, man, there's not enough color in watches. And I didn't want to shy away from that. So there's accents of color in every single watch.
Yeah. I like the orange on this one. It's a good touch.
Yeah. It helps it stand out really, and it goes with the band super, super well.
Yeah, for sure.
I really do like those. They're versatile. I mean, you can dress up, be normal, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, you could wear it to the office. You could wear it. I mean, I've worn mine out and about in the city. Like, it looks good with shorts and a t-shirt. At least the cream one does. The cream one's probably
pretty versatile.
Yeah, the most versatile for an everyday look. That's the one I wear most often when I'm out and about and then it's hot. Fall comes, I'll put the green watch on just because it has a little bit more of a fall winter vibe. The black dial goes on at night. I've actually been wearing I wear them all pretty equally, but I love wearing the black dial with my I usually do a denim on denim look. I wear my jeans with a denim shirt.
Your Canadian tuxedo.
And it looks, that black watch looks so good. And it's so weird because it looks like such a formal watch. You do a formal watch with denim on denim, man, it looks so good.
Oh, you look like Jay Leno.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love Jay Leno, by the way.
I do too. Great guy. Great chin.
Yeah, so I know you say you met some basketball player. Who's probably been the coolest person you've met? People you met throughout this journey of the watch.
Probably CJ McCullough was the coolest.
Okay.
I didn't talk to him for long. I didn't want to bother him. I introduced myself. He was we happened to be at the same event. I kind of went up to him, shook his hand, talked to him for a second. He showed me his watch. I could see it was way up his sleeve, but I knew exactly what it was, and I was like, man, I'm a watch guy. I got to see. I don't want to loud cap him like that, but it definitely, the brand started with a P.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So you could imagine.
I mean, dude, if you're that level of star, you better have a piece on.
You gotta have something nice on.
If you could pick one celebrity's watch collection, who would you take?
John Mayer. I'm a big Mayer guy.
Dude, you kind of look like John Mayer.
Mark Wahlberg's too.
Oh my God, that is the biggest compliment to me. My wife is gonna listen to this podcast and she's gonna say, "I heard the excitement in your voice when he said you look like John Mayer."
So we
John, reach out. I got a watch for you,
dude. So yeah,
he's like sitting there.
I went to see him in Austin last year.
You were singing a Dave Matthews.
Yeah. I'm totally kidding.
I hate Dave Matthews.
So we do a thing on the podcast where we give you your celebrity doppelganger.
Yeah, who have you heard you look like?
I've gotten Ashton Kutcher before.
He sent me that Ashton Kutcher long hair. Okay, I'm gonna take a picture real quick.
Okay,
I totally see Ashton Kutcher. I see John Mayer. I see Ashton Kutcher, and I see Reba McEntire.
For sure, Reba.
I'm just kidding. Totally.
No,
kidding.
You haven't. My wife is going to listen to this, and she's going to laugh her at because for my 30th birthday, my wife said, we need to do something for your 30th birthday. And I'm like,
hey, the first one that comes up,
Ashton Kutcher.
There you go.
Let's see one that's a stretch.
What about your 30th birthday?
I see this one.
Dale always cuts us off.
Benji Madden from Good Charlotte.
So your 30th birthday and Reba McEntire? Who is that?
Jason Ritter. John Ritter's son. You do.
Oh, yeah.
You do resemble him for sure.
My wife is related to John Ritter.
Really?
Well, I mean, he's dead, but yeah.
She was.
Well, she was, yeah.
Dead John.
Dead John.
Yeah, my wife was like, let's do a 30th birthday party and let's do 90s country theme. I said, okay, only if I could be Reba.
Dude, there you go.
So
See?
I bought a red dress. I bought a
Fancy.
red, and I dressed up like fancy. And I went in because I wasn't dressed up. All my friends came over. I was cooking. I was like, all right, I got to go put my costume on. And my wife put fancy on, and I strutted out in my fancy dress.
Can you send us that picture for the reel we're gonna make for the podcast?
I gotta see
If you didn't get a picture, bro, I don't believe it.
I think you just made it up.
I know I have a video. I can guarantee you we have a video. I don't know if we have a picture.
We'd rather
video's
have
better.
a video.
Because I tried to give my brother a lap dance, and he wasn't having it.
I would like to get that video.
He wasn't. I tried, and he was like, "Get the hell away from me."
Were you not his type, or is it the incest thing?
I don't think I'm his type. He's into blondes.
He didn't like gingers.
He doesn't like redheads.
Yeah,
He's into blondes. He's dating a blonde right now.
I need that video.
I'm gonna find it.
All right.
I know I have that somewhere. I'm gonna send it to you.
Dude, Jason Momoa came up. You're a stud,
Dude,
bro.
I could see a little Jason Momoa.
You look like Aquaman, dude.
I don't know about that one.
I don't know about that.
Way better looking than me.
Dude, I mean, Ashton Kutcher was number one. He's one hot piece of
Rob
ace.
Kardashian. No, actually, you look like Khloe Kardashian. I'm sorry.
Why does Rob Kardashian come up so much? I mean, are they really trying to revive his celebrity status?
Rob Kardashian. Oh yeah, he did come up with
Yeah.
Evan Slaughter. Yeah, that was
I
funny.
mean, Rob Kardashian. God.
Oh man, that's
I
hilarious.
saw the pod where Rampage looked like Rampage.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, when you get to certain celebrity statuses, you kind of start looking at like yourself.
Yeah,
on
I was like, dude,
your face.
you're a 31% match for Rampage Jackson.
Yeah.
He was wild.
That was wild.
That dude was
wild.
That dude was funny, man. Yeah, we appreciate you watching the podcast, man.
Yeah.
We've been having fun with this, dude. It's been for a year, a little over a year. This is our 63rd episode, dude. I mean, so
I love podcasts. I'm trying to get on more podcasts. I really want to start a podcast.
Dude, you should.
As part of the brand. Kind of integrating I have this kind of marketing idea that I want to do that I'm going to start doing with this guy I'm going to be collabing with. So
the guy you can't tell us?
I can't. I don't want to spoil too much, but if you, I'll tell people, follow the page, follow bourbonwatchcompany.com. If you want a suit to match your watch, we might have something working up for you. So
the guy from Men's Warehouse. I knew it.
You're gonna love the way you look.
I knew it. I knew it.
That's awesome.
But
man.
yeah, I do want to do a podcast with some of the marketing angle that I want to start doing. Profiling local people, profiling everyday guys, but who are doing really cool stuff, have really cool stories to tell. Have them come on the pod. I have a few friends of mine that I know I kind of want to reach out and maybe do a little photo session with them. Come on, and talk about what it is they do. Just to put more content out there and just
talk
build
about
the brand.
Talk
man.
about watches. Ask who what their grail watch is.
Exactly,
dude. I'm always curious about what you're like. So if you could go to any watch, like if you could get any watch right now. Speaking of John Mayer, real quick, one of my favorites I've always loved. I love that freaking Rolex with the diamond rainbow bezel. Dude, I want that watch so bad.
That is so
Just
nice.
get it.
That is such a nice watch.
Just go pick it up.
That watch is sick, dude. Adam Levine's got a sick watch collection. So does Mark Wahlberg. Them guys. I mean, I couldn't. Yeah, Mayer he's always got a Daytona on or something like crazy.
He has an extensive collection. He was on. He did one of the first talking watches on Houdinki.
Oh, really?
I think he's been on a couple times. You know who else is a big watch guy? Emeril Lagasse's a big watch
Really?
guy. He did talking watches. Now that I'm thinking about it.
And bam.
Bam.
I used to watch Emeril when
His
I was
son's
a
Boom.
little boy. His son's Boom?
I think his son does boom.
Really?
No,
I
dude.
just made that
I
up.
was going to say, that's a first. I didn't hear that one.
I'm not really a cook. I smoke the meat.
He does. He smokes a lot of meat and then he grills it. Oh, sorry, wrong podcast. Dude, hey,
That was for Rampage's podcast.
you should start a podcast, man. I'm telling you, dude. Like,
Yeah.
that's especially when you got something to talk about.
Yeah.
And man, you got a niche market you're in. So, and then it's all about branding too, man. It's all about one of those things where you circle it back to. Just so happened, Bourbon Watch Company sponsored this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. I can sponsor my own podcast. That's the idea behind it. Is I want to just bring people in and talk with people and talk watches, talk fashion, talk culture, talk about them, who they are, what it is they're doing, if they're a musician, if they're a chef. Talk about kind of what they do.
That's what we kind of do. We just talk about ourselves a lot.
Yeah,
That's
really.
the difference. I mean, honestly, because we're really interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I think so.
Got some interesting watches, that's for sure.
I'm a biggest fan, you know. So, are you into fashion too, man?
Yeah. This is my everyday outfit. But I'm not into
Levi's,
super
Converse,
high
and,
design.
Old Navy button up.
Yeah. Just a classic Oxford, classic Levi jeans, Converse. But I like more kind of. I'm not into designer fashion. I'm not into big designer labels. I like just putting a good outfit together from whatever. And I love a good suit. Love a good suit. Love wearing a good suit.
Oh, man. I could talk about suits all day.
We
custom suit.
like I told you, we got some custom blazers made from our guy, Houston Suit Guy here.
Yeah.
He's got a cool thing, man. Blue Fine Menswear is his deal. And man, he's made some cool stuff. He just made one for David Ross, the coach of the Cubs.
Really?
And he told me next spring training he's going to Chicago or to where they do spring training out either Arizona or Florida, and he's outfitting the whole team with blazers.
That's awesome.
And so, but he made me and Vaughn some. Man, we went. I mean, we detailed it to the stitch, to the button, to all the stuff, you know. And then we have our podcast, our logo, this in the inside. So dude, it's freaking dope. Dude. I mean,
man, great.
Dude, the first time I put that on, I never had a custom suit before. When I put that jacket on, dude, it felt like it just hugged your lats, like it just was unreal.
You can get a
different feeling.
You can get a cheap suit that is perfectly tailored, and it makes the cheap suit feel better.
Yeah.
And these are not cheap suits.
Yeah,
and they're
this fit.
perfectly
Dude,
tailored.
Man, they were sick.
And they feel like $1 million. Like I would never go back to a store-bought suit ever.
That's what I got a friend who just did a bespoke suit for his wedding, and he said he's never going back.
Really?
He said it just fits so perfectly.
Yeah.
It's like wearing a second skin.
Yeah,
like,
you feel, you know it is. You look good, you feel good. I mean, that's just
my
a
thing.
big part of it. And we're both in sales. I mean, you're in the banking world. It's just you're probably sales too because you're interacting with people. I don't know what level
I'm actually on
of
the
banking
back
you're
end.
in. Really?
Yeah, I'm on the back end. I kind of manage more risk management is the best way to put it. Internal analysis, internal review.
Okay.
So I look at kind of the big portfolio. So I'm in the back of the house.
Okay. Yeah. So like I said, but you know, but if you go to work, you look good, you feel good. I mean, like I said, it can make your day, man. Like you know, it is. You get a new outfit or you get
That's
a
the
suit
thing.
for the first time, you wear it out. Like, dude, you show out. You know.
Oh yeah, I just bought a pair of monk strap, some good monk strap shoes, full leather. Man, can't wait to put those on.
Yeah.
I can't wait to actually get to wear those. A nice
Monk strap?
Yeah, monk strap. You never heard of a monk strap?
Does it
haven't.
show your toes?
No. It's a leather dress shoe, but it has two straps. I think on the outside.
Oh, it has that piece.
It has the two buckles. Yeah, it has the piece with the two buckles.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a double monk strap. I've always wanted a pair of monk strap shoes.
I thought those were pre-strap.
I thought those were just double straps.
Yeah,
monk
that's
straps.
what they are.
Why are they called monk straps? You know?
Because
no idea.
Because the monks wear them.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Monks don't wear shoes.
They wear sandals, right?
I don't know.
All the monks I've seen wear sandals.
I mean, how many monks have you seen?
I've seen a few.
Do you like hang out with monks on a
I
normal
don't
basis?
hang out with them, but I've seen they actually have some
What kind of watches?
around Thibodeau. They have some
Dude,
some like friars. I've
Dalai
seen.
Lama wears a Rolex.
I've seen that
They've showed
actually.
that up.
I've seen that.
I follow all these watch things. Like it
Yeah.
shows like celebrities are. It says it's the I effing love watches page.
Yeah.
And it just shows like different celebrities, like what piece they're wearing. And and I showed one time they had Dalai Lama. He's wearing like a freaking Submariner. So it's just funny.
Man, anyone who's anyone has to have a Rolex.
Yeah.
Even if you did a Dalai Lama,
Even the Dalai Lama.
gotta have one.
Is the Submariner pretty much the most popular Rolex there is?
I mean,
I would
it's-
have to assume.
Yeah.
Like overall, like a classic dive watch. That's the classic dive
Yeah.
watch.
And then
I love a
there's-
Daytona though. Daytonas are fucking sick. Hey, so my company I work for, if you after 10 years you get a Rolex. My owner of our company is a big Rolex. Like he's a big watch guy.
Wow.
He's got some Rolexes, IWCs. But yeah, 10 years. So like a couple of years ago, some of the guys got some Explorer 2s. The last ones he gave away to my buddy, they got the Sea Dweller 43s, which that's a sick watch, dude.
That's a big watch.
I told him, I said, dude, I said, I want a date. Like, when I make 10 years, I'm at 6. I was like, I want a fucking Daytona, bitch. I don't want to. I don't want to Explorer 2.
You told your CEO that?
The owner, I told him.
Hell yeah.
I said, I don't want to Explorer 2. I said, I want a Daytona, dog. Like I'm gonna earn one by then.
I got a guy I know who works for Rolex, and he has an Air
King.
Air King.
I love that watch
That's a
though.
nice watch.
It's like $6,800.
Nice.
Hey, and those things, not a lot of people have them, but I do like the way they look.
Oh, I'm
It's-
sorry, not the Air King, the Sky Dweller.
Sky Dweller.
Sky Dweller. That's
Sky
what it was.
Dweller Blueface
Yeah.
is my favorite watch.
That's what he had.
They're
Sky Dweller Blueface.
$38,000, dude.
Yeah.
Something like
They're so nice.
crazy. The Blueface Sky Dwellers. Oh, when that came out, I was like, that is a beautiful watch. It looks like a Yachtmaster 2, but
Yeah.
a more watch that you can wear. Yachtmaster 2 is insanely big.
Yeah.
It is a monster. I know a guy has one, the rose gold one. The rose gold through the thing, dude. It's so big. It's bigger than any Breitling I've ever put on put on my wrist.
But it wears really well, surprisingly. Like I was shocked. I'm like,
I mean, I would wear it all day.
Yeah.
Trust me.
it wears really well.
Man, I love. God dang, I could talk watches all day, dude. I'm telling you.
We should have gone to the watch store. Don't they have the Galleria has a
They have a
bunch
Rolex
of-
store.
They got a bunch of stuff at the
They
Galleria.
got a Rolex. They got
Vacheron,
Rolex.
all
They
kind
got
of stuff, huh?
Yeah, they got a Rolex. They got a Omega. They got Breitling in there now.
We got Lewis Jewelers down here.
I don't know if they got Vacheron there. Our Lewis Jeweler just stopped carrying Rolex. They had some nice pre-owned there. The last time I was there, they had a Sea Dweller.
They just stopped carrying them?
Yeah, they lost their deal there, and then they just started carrying Omega. They lost Rolex. They have Omega now. Their big showroom that was Rolex to the corner of their store now is all Omega.
Well, you saw Rolex bought. Is it? No, they didn't buy the not Torno. I was about to say Torno, but they didn't buy Torno. Oh shoot, what's the retailer? I'm drawing a blank.
Retailer like of watches?
Yeah, they bought a big watch retailer.
Look that up, Magnus.
Yeah, I can't remember the name.
Rolex.
Rolex bought something.
Which is huge because Rolex's bread and butter has always been mom and pop ADs, like mom and pop jewelry shops. That's how they've operated for so long, and now they're getting into if you look at a lot of the major brands, they're getting away from dealers and they're opening boutiques.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I know FP Journe had there was a jeweler in Houston in the around the Galleria. Oh yeah. That's it. Was it Boucher? I forgot how to pronounce it.
Bobby Boucher.
Bobby Boucher.
Got to be Boucher.
That's probably your cousin.
Mr. Coach Klein.
That was great. I was ready
Mama
for that.
say football the devil.
Dude, he's not even doing an accent. He's just talking.
I'm gonna drink a little more of that whiskey. I'll start doing Edo.
Mama said he got all them teeth and no toothbrush.
But yeah, a lot of the big guys, they're all doing. Anyway, FP Journe they didn't have a boutique, but they had a dealer that sold some of their watches. So you can go. I forgot what the jeweler is, but they were around the Galleria. And I knew that because they were the closest one to me. But they pulled out of there. They're only selling through their boutique. So it's interesting to see what Rolex is going to end up doing if they are going to start getting away from the mom and pop and start doing their own boutiques.
I think they don't trust these ADs.
Yeah.
There've been a lot of gray market shit going on.
Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of it is. I think that's
Because
why
they can control it.
some people get their stuff pulled, I think, from doing stuff that they're not supposed to. And then they do it because of distance between other ones as well. Some people get pulled, like the guys at Lake Charles, Needland. Yeah. They used to be a Rolex dealer, and I believe they don't do Rolex either. I forgot what he said. I think they may or may not. They I think they stopped selling them there as well.
Yeah.
So
because Rolex is cutting down.
Yeah.
And normally, I think that one of the big issues with the dealers themselves is, they have a retail price they have to sell it at, and that's the price.
Yeah.
And they're scalping. I can see a lot of these dealers just scalp. They have 8,000, 9,000. I think what is a sub nowadays? I think it retails $9,000, something like that.
Around there,
for most of them, and they're selling 14 and 15 grand.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm sure that pisses Rolex off
because they can get more.
Yeah,
they can
absolutely
bump, and they could keep that all for themselves. They can start jacking it up to, which they have been. I mean, Rolex retail prices.
It's starting to come down though.
Yeah, secondary is coming down.
A
lot of that hype, I think a lot of that was crypto driven.
Yeah.
So many people getting
all the guys were buying watches.
Crypto, they were buying watches because of the hype. So I'm glad that's kind of coming down a little bit. You don't want to see bubbles like that because they're never good for the industry. But
well, it sucks for you if you buy that. Then like for the Rolex to appreciate, you're buying it overinflated.
Yeah.
So you're not really getting the value of buying a Rolex to appreciate over time.
Yeah, I mean, it's like take the Nautilus for example. I mean, that was a watch that was retailed retailed $20,000 to $30,000 somewhere in there. If you can get it, so you have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars at a dealer to even be on the list to maybe sort of get one at 20 to 30. So it was selling on the secondary market for 50 and then 70. And then once they announced they were discontinuing the Nautilus, it jumped to over 100,000 overnight.
Got crazy, and then they started coming back down. I watch.
Yeah,
I follow a lot of Instagram pages that they talk about the trends of watches.
Yeah.
They show the ebbs and flows of it. Dude, one watch I've always wanted to get was that Cartier Santos XL.
Speaking my language,
I love that freaking watch, dude. That's one of my favorite watches. That's one of my favorite.
I gotta look at that one.
Look that one up. I love that watch, dude. I've always wanted that. I looked at it in Cabo when Cabo they got that real high end jewelry. My buddy bought a badass. He bought a Breitling. They had the Breitling Mosquito.
Yeah.
He got the green face with the green band, like kind of like that green. But the Mosquito was the one with the black with the red, but it was that same model, but it was a green canvas band, that green face with the all green chronographs. Dude, that's a good looking watch.
You talking about this one?
Yes.
And so they have all the brand. I mean, they have freaking they have all the brands in there. They had motherfucker.
Timex.
I had one at one point. The Panerais.
Yeah.
They had Panerais. They had the Omegas. They had the Cartiers. But I looked at the Cartiers in person finally there, and dude, I've always loved that watch. When I finally seen it in person, put it on my wrist. I'm like, you can actually get those secondhand for a good price.
Cartier is my favorite. My favorite brand that's not my brand. I should say that.
Yeah.
My brand's my favorite. But
there's no doubt.
If you had to walk me into a jewelry shop and say pick any watch you want, and it couldn't be mine, I would go to Cartier. I'd probably get the Santos.
I like the Santos, and I like the Celery with the 3 dates, like the that sport one.
Yeah.
With the black and the rose gold. Oh god, dang it! That's
Cartier makes some fantastic.
That's some
watches. I love them.
But that Santos is one of my favorite. The XL, like that's one watch. The white face and the blue face is sick.
That representative, I don't know anything. I'm not getting political. I don't know anything about him, but that Santos representative I see in the news a lot. I always see he has a Santos on his wrist.
He does?
And I'm like, that guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Santos.
I don't know anything about him.
Rick Santos.
Is it George or something? He's a representative. He's in the news a lot. No, he got in trouble for something.
They all do.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about him. I just know his name is Santos, and I saw Cartier Santos, and I'm like, I like that.
Now I'm thinking,
maybe it is Rick.
Is it Rick Santos? George Santos?
Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe
George
the brothers.
Soros. Ron DeSantis?
His last name is Santos.
There's Santos. I think it's Rick Santos. But, it could be wrong. He's probably on the opposite political party I affiliate myself with.
I don't know.
Which I don't affiliate with any political party.
That's the best way. That's the way I do it.
I vote for who's got the best watch.
Exactly.
Santos got my vote.
Yeah,
exactly.
Hair, watch, and
good suit,
and accent.
Dude, good suit.
Ooh.
Accent.
If you got a good accent, you got to be able to run a country.
Next time, I'm going to come here in a really nice suit, and I'm going to have my watch.
We're going to vote for you.
And I got my accent, and I'm going to announce my candidacy.
You see our shirt, right?
Yeah.
Look.
Dale Vaughn 24.
Make podcasts fun again, baby.
I love it.
You found it?
I could put the accent on me.
George Santos.
George?
I think there is a Rick Santos, too, that's in politics.
I mean,
either way, one of them wears a nice watch.
Yeah, you look at pictures of him. He always got a Cartier Santos. That's the only thing I know about him.
Yeah. Well, when you're a watch guy, dude, I'm telling you, I can spot watches from a mile away, dude. And I see somebody, and I always bring it up. I'm like, that's nice, whatever there. I was sitting next to a guy when they donate blood, and he had a freaking, he had a Breitling on. I forgot what model it was, but I said something to him. No, he had a Panerai on.
Oh, yeah.
And I had a Breitling on. I was like, dude, nice Panerai. He's like, oh, man, thanks. You see my watch. We started talking watches. But, it's just, you could talk to anybody about watches. If they're a watch guy, it's It just happens.
And that's what I love about when I was designing this is dudes love watches. They love talking about watches, but you love the story behind a watch.
Yep.
And usually, like, if you're going to have a story behind a watch, it's like, I bought this in 1954 when I was in the Army, and it's been with me. But like most watches nowadays, you got years to put in that story. It's like when I designed this watch, it's like I want each watch to tell a story, and I want it to be. I don't want just the watch to tell a story. I want it to help people tell their own story. And so a lot of my, being a small brand, I get to talk with most of my customers, and I always ask them like, what is. What does the watch mean to you? What really attracted you to the watch? And everybody I talk to,
or like, why are you buying this watch? Like that's
exactly. And like they all come back. One of my first customers was like, dude, when I first moved to New Orleans, I lived across the street from the St. Charles Streetcar Exchange, so I bought the streetcar watch because like it reminded me of that. I had one customer. She reached out to me right before pre-orders went live, and she said, "Hey, look, my husband or my fiance, husband to be." Did his medical residency in New Orleans, and he lived there for X number of years, and we're getting married in New Orleans in April. Or if I order now, are the watches going to be in them? And I said, I promise you, if I have to hand deliver it to you on the day of the wedding, I will get this watch to you.
But that's such a cool thing, man.
It's the watch he wore on his wedding. It was the black dial watch. He wore it on his wedding. She sent a picture. This was awesome. She sent a picture to Gambino's. And had Gambino's make his groom cake out of our watch. So they shaped the watch, and then they had some kind of covering where they basically screen printed the watch dial onto the cake.
That's sick.
And she sent me that. I got to have a beer with them that night.
That's a sweet marketing piece, man.
It was so awesome. I think I posted it on my Instagram story. I really want to get to tell their story a little bit more one day. And it was just so awesome.
Your first podcast, dude, right there.
Yeah,
that's your story.
I need to get them in.
My brother-in-law, he's a big watch guy. Same way, he's like, man, he goes, hey, I know you like watches. He goes, think about anything big happens in your life, a big promotion, big whatever, buy a watch then. Because then you always remember, like, I remember my first big promotion in the oil and gas industry. I bought me a tag.
Yeah.
And I have this tag, white-faced. I wear it that's like my beater watch, but I wear it all the time. And I remember it from being that was my first big promotion within this industry that I've been in for 13 years or whatever,
Yeah.
And so, but it's cool, if you buy watches at that time, you get a big promotion or something big or something, you always remember that. It's something you can be proud of. That's the cool thing about watches, man. And you can keep it the rest of your life.
And that's such a cool thing when you pass it on to pass it on to your kid. And it's like, my dad bought this watch when he got his first big promotion. Like, how cool of a story is that? And it's still going to be working.
Yep.
It's not going to go bad because as long as you're servicing it, every 10 years or so, and you're taking care of it, it's going to last that long.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I love watches. God dang it, man.
My kid's getting no watch. I'd sell it.
Oh, dude, I told Bronson, as a dude, by the time high school, you're going to have a freaking sick little watch collection. I'm going to hook him up early.
Nope.
I will. Just because
Yeah.
He loves watches too. He'll ask me, man, where'd you get that one? Or he'll ask questions about it. Is that a Rolex? He always asks questions about it because it's cool, man. Like I said, it's just one of those things where, but you're either a watch guy or you're not. That's just what it is. I'm a watch guy. Some people don't care or they think it's just whatever, but I really do love them, and man, I just can't get enough of them. And so wearing this, man, like I said, I love this one on the wrist. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
Doesn't move a ton, and like it's just you can do a lot without it feeling like it's a pain to wear, Yeah,
well, thank you. That's
a nice leather band. How hard was that picking out a leather band?
Again, it surprisingly wasn't that difficult because I had in my mind what I wanted it to look like, and I knew I kind of wanted to go with that pebble grain. I love that pebble grain texture. And I tailored each band to the watch. So, like, the dial has a feel, and the band is basically integrates with that feel. So, people have asked me in the past, hey, can we switch them out? I'm like, we can't switch them out, one, because we don't have the inventory to be able to switch them out. We don't have the inventory on hand. But, like, every watch was, like, tailored specifically. That band was tailored to go with the watch dial. I think the easiest decision was to go with Italian leather for it. So the bands are all Italian leather. But the manufacturer sent me a couple samples, and they said, okay, this is, because I told them this is the color I want for each watch dial. This is how I want it to match. I want it to be pebble grain. They're like, okay, well, we're going to send you some samples. We're gonna send you an Italian sample and a Chinese sample. And I'm like, well, I'm creating a high-end watch. It's gonna be Italian. Like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna go with the Chinese leather. But like, okay, send it over. Fine, I'll take a look at it. I could put both swatches of that leather right here. I could get 100 people to feel the difference. 100 out of those 100 people will pick the Italian one every single time.
Really?
The difference was night and day. That was the
Butter,
easiest
huh?
decision.
Well, like I said, you got to with a leather band. It's got to wrap around right.
Yeah.
It's got to sit right because I've had some where it sits all weird.
Yeah.
You know, until it breaks in, but then it's the things if it's cheap, it'll wear out quick.
Yeah. And that's what the way we ship it around a pillow. So by the time it comes in, it's a little broken in.
Yep.
It's not as because the first time I got the samples in the prototypes,
They were flat.
They were flat
yeah.
and like they sat weird, and it took a couple days for them to really break in. But since they're already kind of like kind of broken in a little bit by the time you get them, man, you pop them on, they're broken in pretty quickly, and it fits so comfortably.
That's awesome, man. So, watch number 2. When's the release date?
Oh man,
we're putting you on the spot.
Dude,
I don't know. I don't know.
We gotta ask these hard hitting questions.
Let's just make a date right now.
Right now,
Even if you don't know, let's make a date right now.
Lon's big on that.
You got to make a date and just do it.
I can't give a date. I wish I could give a date. Right now, the number one focus is really getting people to learn who we are, kind of get our name out there, get the brand out there, and generate sales. Right now, it's all every avenue I can to generate sales, to get out there, get watches on wrists, so we can actually do the next run. So I can't give a specific date because it'll be when it's time.
Yeah,
so
I get
the quicker the better. I would love within the next 2 years to have the next one out, but because you still got to strike while the iron's hot. So I would hope that we can get another one out within 2 years or so. But I don't want to give an exact date because right now it's just trying to, hey, this is who we are.
I was thinking like Tuesday, but.
I wish. It's design. The design is in my head.
Okay.
Well, the rough design.
You got to get her to put it down on paper again.
Yeah, I just need to get it like on paper, get it a few kind of things tweaked out. But man, I've done some sketches already. Like I know what it's gonna look like just about. I know the style it's gonna go. I know the direction it's gonna go. I know almost everything about it.
There's gotta be such a flex. Be like, dude, what you think about this watch? Oh, dude, it's awesome. Yeah, well, I designed it. Like,
yeah.
That'd be badass, man.
That's the coolest thing.
That is. Yeah.
You designed this?
July 24th, 2025 is your date.
Okay.
We just gave it to you.
We're going to shoot for it.
We're going to shoot for it.
It's a great day. It's my birthday.
That's his birthday.
That's your birthday?
Yeah.
We could get one to you on your birthday.
There you go.
On your birthday. The Celery watch.
The Celery.
God.
The Celery
Call
watch.
back.
Hey. Celery. I can't wait.
The Celery watch. That's hilarious, man. Nah, man, like I said, dude, I'm glad that we connected, crossed paths, man. Like I said, I do want to try to help you out with some people that I know. Like at least I'm gonna try to get some connections for you to try to help out, man.
No, I'm deeply appreciative of that. Thank you.
And I'm glad you came in to do this in person because it just it's cool. You definitely get your passion. I think people that are gonna hear this, I guarantee we have people that listen to this that are watch guys, and then hopefully we'll turn on some business to you, man. Really help try to push this out for you, man. That's really what we try to do when we have anybody with a business or anything that we do, try to throw them some stuff their way,
Thank you. It's great.
This your first podcast?
Second one. First one since we launched. I was on a podcast leading up to the launch, kind of when I really started launching the Instagram, kind of getting everything out there even before we did pre-orders up. So I was on that podcast, but I'm trying to get out on some more.
So on those,
I love podcasts.
On those pre-orders, this question always comes to my mind. So on those pre-orders, you're obviously ordering stock. Mm-hmm. Do you ever worry like, oh my gosh, what if I run out? What if I have too much? Like, have you ever came to a point where you've gauged it pretty close?
I will never worry if I don't have enough. I will never worry about that. It's always like, because I mean, there's anytime you do something like this, there's minimum order quantities. So there's a minimum number you have to purchase. Yeah. It's like, okay, you're on the hook for this many watches. Yeah. You got to sell this many watches. So it's like to get in the game, you know what the level is.
Was that per color or total?
Total.
Okay,
total.
because
Yeah.
that would be tough when you got it multiple colors. To like, oh
Yeah.
shit, I got it.
No, it's total, and it's so like you kind of know, and so I stuck really close to that minimum order quantity. Ordered a few more that way I could have promotional pieces and stuff like that. So, really knowing how much to order wasn't really a big deal. It's right now. It's getting out there, getting the name out, and sell. Like just get people to know who we are and like really show. What I really want people to see is how high a quality of this watch and really how good of a value it is for its price point.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of the price point that we hit on that. And, we have to, being a startup brand, I mean, we're taking a big hit on the margins just to stay at that price point and to be really, really, to bring people in.
Yeah.
To be really interesting. Just like, wow, like nothing exists at this price point. You walk into a jewelry shop, you're not going to find a Swiss-made watch at this quality at that price point. It's just, it doesn't exist.
And with a cool logo and
Yeah.
a nice band. I mean, like I said, it's not like you just put something out there trying to do it. I mean, this is like
Exactly.
a nice timepiece,
Everything was thought of, and we hit everything that I wanted to hit with the aesthetic, just having that classic gentleman's wristwatch look. Like the cool watch your grandpa would always wear.
I know.
That's so cool. That's what I want to do. Like that, just that classic vintage mid-century, not, an everyday watch, but not like a big chunky, 44-inch sports watch that's as high off your hands.
The big and
nothing like
big
that.
and Victor your uncle gave you.
Exactly. I want to stay away from that. I want to.
Those big fat face. Oh, they just. I see people like that. It's just cheap looking.
What was that brand that Buckley used to sell? He'd sell the big old watches, the big old numbers on them.
Yeah.
Those were. Oh man.
Diesel.
Diesel. There you go.
Magnus had a Diesel watch.
Oh, I guarantee it.
With a
Magnus-
chain on it, huh? Some of them used to have chains on
Dude,
it.
oh, I know.
Yeah.
He wore a chain wallet when we first met him.
Yeah, he was. He wearing a chain wallet. Two of them.
He's agreeing.
He's got one for credit card, one for cash.
Yeah, so Magnus, you're lucky he's got a shirt on.
Yeah.
Usually Dane he gets weird.
He got all crazy one episode and shaved his chest while we're on the podcast. It was disgusting. I mean, we had the maids come in and they were just like, "What's going on? You've got a wet Shih Tzu on your floor."
Anything you want to close with, man? Anything that you want to put out there we haven't talked about, like far as about the company, man, that you want people to know about? I mean, this is your chance to really kind of just do some last minute selling, dude.
Man, yeah, no, I think we hit everything, everything that I could think of. I definitely appreciate any customer feedback. Anybody who's had the watch, who's looked at the watches, wants to say, hey, look, this is what I want to see in another. Whenever you do your second watch, this is what I want to see. That's the type of stuff where while I'm kind of actively designing in the back of my head, I'm taking in everyone's opinion into consideration. Like, what's the watch that you want to see? What's the price point that you want to see it at? But no, I'm really proud of what we've produced. I'm really proud of what we're selling. I really see this company one day kind of being the Vacheron, the Patek of New Orleans, just way outside that price point, and just at that price point that is approachable to your average working guy. Say, hey, $1,000, maybe as high as $2,000, depending on how technical we get with future watches. But like that $1,000 price point is such a sweet spot, and I think every guy deserves. Really owes it to themselves
a nice piece
to own a nice piece, even if you're not a big watch guy. At least if you're not a big watch guy yet. Everyone's a watch guy in the making. But if you're not a big watch guy yet, but like if you're buying the nice suit, and you want to wear that out to date night, to a wedding, and you want to look good, get the Apple Watch off your wrist. Yeah. Get you a really nice Swiss-made watch. That's what I want. That's what I want to be. That's kind of the price point I want to be at, to where like, hey, look, man, this is an awesome watch. I'm going to pass this on to my kid. I know it's going to work forever. And you know what? I owe it to myself to, when I dress up and I look good, I make sure I look damn good doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I refuse to wear an Apple Watch because I love watches and I have watches. I will not wear one. Not any other reason, because I like wearing my nice watches,
Yeah. I've never once owned an Apple Watch.
Me neither.
I've owned a Garmin watch just for running.
Yeah.
And like I put it on, and when I'm done running, I take it off, and that's it. I don't need something else that buzzes at me and dings at me every day.
No.
Like
You notice those people that have Apple Watches, they get
Hey,
it.
Magnus, he's flipping us off wearing his Apple Watch.
Magnus, we got to get a good watch on your wrist, man. I know a guy. I know a guy.
Dude, those watches. I notice the people that have Apple Watches, they don't reply to their texts quickly either.
Yeah, they're like, oh, they keep doing this. That
Yeah,
shit
they're
drives me
just
crazy.
like, ah.
Yeah.
That bugs me.
Oh, people say, "Oh, I need it. I need to see my text messages." You don't need to see a text message.
And then you
now.
forget to
Magnus.
reply. Like me,
Yeah.
I'm very simple. I just don't reply during the day, and then I catch up at it at night.
Hey, when he knows the ground like this dude,
It's on your
he
phone.
just, dude, he just does it.
Yeah, it's on your phone. You're gonna look at your phone in the next 5 minutes anyway. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I love about classic, mechanical watches. It is 100% handmade. There is not a battery in it. There is not a smart this, smart that. It doesn't do apps. It is cogs, all put together, meticulously crafted, and it just goes. There's a big spring you want. For the guys that don't know about watches, you just wind that big spring, and it just starts going. And
Dude.
it starts keeping time.
30 to 40 winds.
Usually around 25.
Yeah, that's right. My favorite things to do on
I usually
like,
underwind it a little bit.
TikTok is
22.
those videos when they have like the old beat up watch and they take it all apart.
Oh,
Yeah.
and they fix them.
They clean them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they dude, the
Like the ones they find like in war zones and stuff.
so crazy. Like how they do it, and just watching the precision, like of a nice Swiss watch. Like watch you could see yours.
Yeah.
Like to see these things get taken apart, put together, just to see them move and wind is just a work of art, dude. It's unreal.
They had a jeweler in Thibodeau. Somebody found an old Rolex root beer GMT in the middle of a cane field.
No way.
All beat up, broken up. They just found it in the middle of a cane field somewhere.
What a find.
They brought it to the jeweler, and they had it completely restored back to its. I mean, I'm sure they had to go to Rolex for some of the pieces and kind of get some old aftermarket parts. But when I tell you, it was so nice when it was finished.
What a story too.
Yeah,
My luck, that was probably mine.
I know.
He never owned one, but maybe.
That was probably one of my farming friends' watch, probably from back in the day.
Dude.
Yeah.
And they wore those as beaters.
Yeah.
Oh, I know those cane farmers.
Absolutely.
Don't let them fool you. Those cane farmers, man,
They make some money.
they make some money. They
Yeah.
make some money.
Yeah, no kidding, man. But yeah, dude. Hey, we appreciate you getting here.
Yeah.
We hope we can help really put your story out there for your company out. Get some business your way. Really, people see your passion of the watches, and if you're not a watch guy, you will be once you put one of these on.
100%.
Check them out, man. Like I said, this is a great piece. Like, hey, women, if you want to get your man a watch, that's super nice, and it's a great thing to it's a great gift to give somebody. Ain't no
really
doubt.
is.
A watch is a huge gift to give somebody.
It really is. It's such, whether it's for weddings, whether it's for graduations,
Yep.
whether it's for promotions, all those big life events, like commemorated with a watch. It really, and I'm not just saying that as, I'm the guy that sells watches. Like it,
But
it really is.
I was big into that, and I'm not
Yeah.
I'm just being a watch guy. Like that's it's something that can commemorate something that's
Yeah.
super cool in your life. And these things last. I mean, watches last.
Yeah.
man.
They last forever. And if something goes wrong, you can repair it.
Yeah.
I know with ours, we have a 2-year, we offer a 2-year warranty. So if something happens in 2 years, mechanically, we'll completely fix it for you. But like even if you just had a watch for 10, 15 years, it's not quite working right. You find a watchmaker, and they're everywhere. It's not hard to find a watchmaker. They can take it apart. They can, get it all, all the oils back into it and completely restore it and get it working right. It doesn't go bad. It's not something you throw away, and that's what I love about. That's what I love about watches, really as a piece, because it's not. I don't like disposable consumer culture. I don't like the idea of buying something and then throwing it away. I want to buy something. I want it to last forever.
Yeah. No, man. It's like I said, man. I'm excited about it. The name's cool. That's what caught me first. So yeah, you did a good job with the name.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think any probably 18 to 60-plus-year-old man can relate to
Exactly.
liking bourbon, liking watches, and then you kind of combined it both, man. It's like,
Good
so you
bourbon,
knocked it out of
good
the park,
watch.
dude. There's no doubt.
Thank you.
But thanks for coming, man. We appreciate you driving all the way here, man. I hope this was worth your while for you. I hope you enjoyed it.
We'll at least give you some good restaurants to eat at or something like that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's great. It's been great sitting here with you guys. I look forward to doing it again. It's been awesome.
Man.
Yeah, hey, we'll get you back whenever you want, man. We want to make a trip down here, dude. You ever want to talk about something else? Let's go.
Definitely.
Bring up. We need to dive more into watches. I'll have me a Cartier by then.
I'm
gonna call it.
I do want you to wear that one next time. I want you to have the Cartier. I want you to wear it because I want to see it. I want to get hands on with it.
Yeah.
I love Cartier.
I'm gonna buy one tonight, and then I'm gonna auction it off between y'all two.
All right.
I don't think Cartier makes Celery watches though.
They don't.
That's okay. That's okay.
Bring it back around the third time.
There you go. Call back.
But yeah, man. Hey, Dane, I appreciate you, dude. Man, I'm glad we've crossed paths. We'll definitely stay in touch, man. I'm gonna get you hooked up to Cajun Ninja.
Yes.
We're gonna collab on Red Beans Gumbo.
Red Bean Gumbo.
And then, we'll go from there, man. We're gonna make him a watch guy. I think he wears Apple Watch, but we're gonna make him a watch guy.
He's a watch guy in the making. Every guy's a watch guy in the making.
We're gonna make it happen.
Just got to get the bug to bite you.
That's it, dude.
I'm telling you.
I was a bit early, so.
Sometimes it just takes a little time.
Oh,
Did you watch that?
what do we name this episode?
Let's name this episode.
Got any ideas?
Golly. They
He said,
normally come to me so quickly.
Yeah, I know. Usually is like a week after we think about it. I'm like, oh, this is a good name, and we kind of kick it back and forth.
I
But
didn't want to say anything about a Celery watch because once you call back the fourth time, it's not funny anymore.
I don't know, man.
It's not funny the fourth time.
oh man, I don't know. We'll come up with something good. But yeah, man. Once this comes out, we'll be promoting it. We'll be doing stuff, and then since I got the new box in, I'm gonna have Magnus come over. We're gonna do a new unboxing.
Awesome.
To where I can put that out to you. I'll share that to you, and we'll put that on socials, and I'll put that on my personal for you, and try to help you get the word out, man. Get Bourbon Watch Company out there.
Thank you. And if anybody's interested, bourbonwatchcompany.com, Bourbon Watch Company on all the social media, just all spelt out. If you're looking to find us, that's where we are.
Awesome.
Yeah, go find Dane and get you a timepiece.
Get you 3.
Yeah.
Get 3. We have 3. I've had a customer buy 3.
Really?
It's awesome. Yeah, bought him at pre-order. He's such a great. I've talked to him a few times since then. And that's another thing. If anybody buys watches, reach out to us. If you're reaching out to the Instagram, you're going to be chatting with me.
Okay.
I love chatting with people. I want to know more about people. I got to chat with that guy a lot. He's an awesome guy out in, I think, from Virginia. But he was an awesome guy. He bought 3. I like to chat with all the customers.
Yeah,
Get to know them.
That's awesome, man. So yeah, go to Bourbon Watch Company. You'll be chatting with Dane. Dude loves watches, man. So.
Oh, and one more thing before I forget. I almost forgot about this. If you're in the Louisiana area, and you're interested in ordering online, and you want it, don't get it shipped to you. If you can make it to New Orleans or Baton Rouge or home of Thibodeau, do local pickup. Okay. That's one thing I'm starting to do is we'll do local pickup. It's a bit of a surprise how it works out. But it's full white glove service.
Oh, sweet.
So we don't have a specific location, and that's part of the secret.
Okay.
We don't tell you exactly where you can pick it up.
I think you should scare you should put a bag over the head, put them in a van, take them
somewhere
somewhere.
like a plastic bag. Don't let them breathe.
then
and duct tape.
Yes,
dude.
He was breathing when I put him under there.
Yeah.
I thought he was excited. He was screaming.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's what we'll do is I'll let you know we'll set a date, we'll set a time. We won't set a specific location, but we'll set like a city. And then the morning of, I'll text you or email you and say, all right, meet me at X location. But it's gonna be a good location. I'm not gonna ask you to meet me. Hey, you know that bar on Bourbon? Yeah. No, it's gonna be like a really nice upscale location.
Meet me at Razoo's.
Yeah, exactly. It's
where we're going. You don't need to know the time.
Hey, well, that's a cool add-on, man.
Yeah,
dude,
and
it's
full white glove service. So like, basically the idea is like if you get treated the same way as if you bought a Patek.
Okay.
So like, I'll get the white gloves on for you and everything. Get a box of cigars. I'll give you a cigar or something like that. Like I want full luxury
it's an experience,
service.
man. Yeah,
exactly. It's an experience, and I mean, if you're spending $1,000 on a watch, damn it, you deserve that. You deserve everything. You deserve the experience. You deserve the best damn watch you can get.
There you go.
That's what I'm looking to build.
Go to Bourbon Watch Company. Get with Dane. Do the white glove service. I want to see this. We got to get that video.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Well, that's awesome, dude. We appreciate you coming in, dude.
Thank you.
Have a safe trip back to Thibodeau.
Yep.
And make sure to keep doing it, man. We're excited to see watch number 2 come out.
Absolutely. July 24,
July
2025 is
24th.
dropping.
We're rooting for you, man.
It's gonna be in my head. It's etched in my brain already.
There you go, man.
All right, man. We're out, dude.
All right.